right, 2:03 on the Fan, and a very good Thursday afternoon to you. Beningo and Tommy Lugauer, we're here till 7. Well, Tommy's here till 7. I don't know what time I'm here till.
Depends on when the PAT train leaves in the 6
right.
o'clock
I
hour.
haven't figured that out yet. Tara, if you're listening, I may be home at the normal time. 877-337-6666 is the phone number. And who comes on at 7, Tommy? Who is this?
I think it's Keith McPherson tonight.
McPherson
We're getting 2 thumbs
7.
up, Joe.
Okay, so there you go. We got the outstanding Connor Green. We got Pat Boyle, former Cleveland Brown fan, on the other side of the glass. Once Jimmy Brown retired, he was done. That was it for Boyle. Anyway, so, bro, first of all, I want to thank you for coming in. I mean, you could have been, working on your tan on the beach. I mean, you could have been in Mykonos or wherever it is.
Well, yeah.
Wherever it is.
I certainly could have been in Ibiza despite the waste in the ocean.
Yeah, there is an issue there, right?
Joe, I just want to thank you, and I don't want to put you on the spot here. I don't want to embarrass you.
No, you can embarrass me. I've been embarrassed many times.
Like a lot of guys listening right now, a lot of guys in the business, I literally grew up listening to you. You're the reason I'm in the business. So if you hate me on the air, people listening, you can blame Joe.
Right.
So for you asking me to do a show with you is like, I don't know if you're a Springsteen fan, if Bruce was like, hey, you want to come on stage and sing a song, play guitar. So Joe, it's an honor. It's a pleasure. I'm so fired up to do the show with you. So thank you, my friend.
Tommy, I appreciate it, man. It was a lot of fun doing the show the last 3 days. You're hilarious. I got to tell you. I mean, you should be doing like something, stand-up comedy, something along those lines. Speaking of comedy, Tommy Pham just went out of the game. I guess he pulled a hamstring or something.
Did he really?
I think so.
Well, didn't he just ground into first of all, the Mets have like one hit today of Michael Kopech, and he just Pham just grounded to a double play. So we got the game on here, Joe and I. We got the Open going on somewhere, right? They're still playing the first round there.
Yeah, they are. How about this guy, this amateur? He's 5 under. The guy from, I think he's from, where is he? South Africa?
Yeah, Joe, I watch a good amount of golf.
Me too.
I've never heard of this guy.
Never.
I thought you might have.
The guy's not even a pro yet.
I was like, who the hell is this? Tommy Fleetwood, who he's tied with. I'm like, I've at least heard of that guy.
Of course.
The other guy I had no idea.
Right.
So you got that going on, and then obviously, Joe, the Yankees are a total mess. I mean, they are just a disgrace.
Let me ask you, all right,
yeah.
Obviously, Carlos Rodon has been absolutely hideous,
yep.
right? I mean, the guy's pitched 3 games. His ERA is like 7 point something. He gets bombed last night, gives up a couple home runs. How many runs he gave? I don't even think he got out of the 4th inning. Comes off the mound, and a lot of Yankee fans in Anaheim, and they're booing him, and he basically blows him a kiss. What? I mean, he didn't give him the finger like Jack McDowell famously once did. He didn't do anything like that. But still, he blew him a kiss. What was your overall thoughts on this?
This is what I would say. For a guy who's made, 3 starts for the Yankees?
Right.
3. If you're that soft, if you're that weak mentally, it's not like this was the Bronx,
That's true.
Joe, and 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 people are telling you to go scratch.
At the stadium if he did that?
How many people are out there in Disneyland watching that game that are Yankee fans? 8 to 9 people are booing you, and you can't handle it? And, Joe, you stink. The team stinks.
Yep.
They're not playing up to the level that Yankee fans expect from the Yankees. They're horrible. They can't hit. Joe, they got shut down by Chase Silseth last night.
Well, they got shut down by everybody.
Everybody.
I mean, every guy that pitched in this series, and it was Ohtani didn't pitch, and they got shut down by everybody they went up against.
They can't hit, and Rodon got the bag. He's making a ton of money. He was hurt. Okay, maybe that's not his fault, but you've come in 3 starts. You've absolutely sucked. You get booed, and then you blow people the kiss. I mean, Joe, to me, early on, I would say this. Now, he could obviously get his way out of this.
Got a lot. Yeah, right, of course.
But to me, you're not, like I felt this way, Joe, with Chris Bassett. Some guys are just not built for this area.
Yeah.
Bassett, he said stuff late last year about the fans.
That's why he's not here. I really believe that's why the Mets didn't bring him back.
Say what you want, Joe, about DeGrom. Mm-hmm. He at least answered the bell. He pitched. He didn't let things get in his head. If you can't handle the noise in New York City, and we're going to find it out with your quarterback too, Rodgers, if you can't handle stuff like this...
you think I might kill him?
Well, Joe, this is what I would say. Here's what I would say, Joe. Aaron Rodgers famously told people to relax. Can you imagine Aaron Rodgers after an 0-3 start telling Joe Beningo and Jet fans...
Forget about 0-3. You lose to the Bills on that Monday night opener.
And telling Joe to relax. But yeah, you can't be kissing and blowing the kiss to fans. You got to block that stuff out. You have to have a little bit more idea what's going on with the state of the franchise, with the state of what you've been doing, and everything else. Like, to me, Joe, I see something like that. If that was Max Scherzer, if that was Verlander, if I was a Yankee fan and a guy sucked and he he acted like that, and Rizzo and Volpe, Joe, they're laughing in the
I didn't
dugout.
see that. I did not know that. Now was this late in the game when this happened?
This was when I believe they were down 4-0,
Right,
and
okay.
TV shows them, in the dugout, and they're laughing. Now, listen, you could say something funny, whatever, you laugh, but, like, you have to have a little bit of an idea what's going on, Joe, because we as fans, we know this. Like, obviously, Joe, I always say this, like, players come and go, right? Players come and go, even if you have a 20-year career. Joe, we are, with our team, mated for life like geese, right?
Oh,
you are.
Of course. I've been a Met fan since, I've seen it all with the Mets. I mean, I'm a Met fan since day one.
So we as the fans take it harder than the players, always, right? There's no disputing that.
Right.
That said, you don't want to see guys laughing in the dugout when you're getting swept by the Angels.
When your
you
team
can't get a hit.
stinks. I mean, right now they're in last place in the division. It's unbelievable. I was coming up in the elevator here just before, and I'm looking. They had the AL East standings, and all they had was the top 4 teams. The Yankees weren't even there. When's the last time that happened?
Joe, we live in a world right now where it is mid to late July, and the Yankees are in last place.
I know they're over 500, but still.
Is this a Bronx tale? Does anyone give a you-know-what? Like,
right.
And everyone in the division is younger and better. So, Joe, it's not just this year, right? Like, the Yankees this year are in big trouble. They might miss the playoffs. Think about that, a world where the Yankees aren't playing October baseball.
That is unbelievable.
And going forward, Joe, they're going to have problems. Like, the Rays aren't going anywhere. The Blue Jays aren't going anywhere.
The Orioles are just getting better and better.
Right. So, like, where is a Yankee organization? Now, all the fans want Boone out, and all the fans want Cashman out.
Right. Well,
and
that's been for a while now.
And, Joe, I really believe if the Yankees miss the playoffs, Boone's gone.
Yes.
I think Cashman stays, though. I think they'll use Boone as sort of like a scapegoat. Cashman, who everybody thinks has a lifetime contract, I think he could survive one more manager. But speaking of the manager, Joe, and I think you'll appreciate this because you've been asking for it. After the game, Aaron Boone finally admitted.
I saw that. He finally ripped his team. We stink.
So maybe he must have heard you. He must have heard you because finally they said
it's about time.
Well, Joe, it's
how could you say anything else? You got to say it. I mean, what are you going to say? With scuffling, with this, all the nonsense. Come on.
You could do all the rah-rah. You could say, and it's baseball, Joe. It's 162 games, and it's a long. And he even said early this year, Boone, he's like, it's a long-ass season. But at some point, if you're Aaron Boone, you have to just sort of face facts and be like, we stink, and that's it. And I think the fans who all hate Boone anyway can at least appreciate him saying that. Because as a fan, you don't want to be lied to, right, Joe? Like, when you see, like, a bad product, just say the product's bad. Don't blow smoke up our ass. Just say, hey, we suck. So at least they did that.
Yeah.
So you got to appreciate that.
No, it's about time. I mean, no doubt about it. And obviously the Yankees to say they miss Aaron Judge. I mean, I think it's 15-22 now without Aaron Judge. I thought it was even worse than that, to be honest.
Amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
I did. I mean, the guy, they're just a totally different team with this guy. And here's the other thing, too, bro. You watch this game, you put it, and by the way, I couldn't see the Yankee game because it was on Amazon last night.
Now, hold on a second here. You don't get Amazon, like Terry doesn't order stuff off Amazon Prime?
You think I'm going to go pop on, Amazon? I'm watching, by the time I got home as it was, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I got home, and the Mets, I'm trying to think what the score,
Joe, the Met game flew. It was only like a 2-hour game.
Yeah, no, it was like 2 hours and 6 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. But anyway, just getting to that. So I got home just in time for the 4-run inning for the Mets. That's when I got home.
Gotcha.
And they went up. It was 5-0 at the time, whatever it was. And I'm like, okay, great. I'm eating dinner. Let me see what's going on with the Yankees. Where's the Yankee game? Wait a minute. It's not on channel. It's not on the Yes Network.
Yep.
It's not on channel 11.
It's not even on Peacock.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or Apple TV
Apple
or whatever
TV.
it is. No, and then I said, let me see the paper. Amazon? Come on.
We get this a lot.
I thought they only do that on Friday night.
No, I think it's Joe. I thought it was Tuesday nights, but Friday night's more the Apple games. I'll say this about Amazon, Joe, because we get callers. There's a lot of people that don't have Amazon.
Right.
My wife, who I love, although if I win the lottery, she's gone.
You're leaving. We know that.
Roby is in, wife is out. She has an Amazon addiction.
She'll be happy for $300 million.
Exactly.
You know what I mean.
My wife has an Amazon addiction. We actually get a handwritten thank you note from Amazon every year.
When you say Amazon addiction, you mean she buys a lot of stuff?
Oh, Joe, every time I'm there, every time I come home, there's a package downstairs.
Every time you're there.
Well,
you're not there too often?
Well, no, I'm there. I bounce my head in and out. I'm there. And hey, honey, I'm still around.
Right.
So every time I come home, there's a package downstairs, and I'm like, what is going on? How many plants and flowers and pot? What do we need? How many pictures can we put up? So she's got an Amazon addiction. Like I said, they send us a handwritten thank you note. So we have Amazon. I'm locked in on that. But I get the frustration. You can't find the game. I bet there's a lot of Yankee fans that are glad they couldn't find the game on Amazon to watch
maybe.
this crap product, Joe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that that's where we're at though with sports, Joe. Like we're gonna get to two things are gonna happen. We're gonna get to a point where there's basically no cable television, and we're gonna get to a point where there is an NFL game on every single day of the week. Like we are now.
You think that's gonna happen?
I think the NFL.
The only thing I will say to that, bro, is how could they pull that off every day of the week?
Because
that'd be a little difficult to do. Wouldn't
I
it?
think that it's like this, Joe. To me, the NFL is the only sport right now where even if your team stinks, even if you can't watch your team, even if it's like unwatchable, you will watch other games.
Oh, no question.
Right? It could
that's
be
the
Sunday
only sport
night.
I will watch every team play in the NFL. Doesn't matter who it is.
Right. It
like
could
I'll be locked into the the Lion Chief game opening Thursday night.
It could be Jaguars and the Citadel,
Doesn't matter.
and we're locked in.
And the Citadel, right?
And we watch the combine. It's a bunch of guys running around in their underwear around cones, Joe.
Right.
Or the draft where
Right.
guys are walking
Right.
across
Right.
the stage to hug awkwardly Roger Goodell.
In terrible suits that they'll never wear again.
So it's the NFL. We can't get enough of their content, and they're pigs, and they're going to want to have a game on every day. So I do think we were going to live in a world where football basically becomes baseball.
Wow.
Yep.
That'd be. I just wonder how they're going to pull that off. I mean, I guess everybody.
We're already halfway there.
Yeah, I guess so.
And during 2020, they
so.
basically had a game every night because they had to bang stuff for COVID.
Yeah. Remember we had like Wednesday afternoon games and
Yep,
stuff like
and
that.
Tuesday night football. So I do
100%.
believe, Joe, we are heading
100%.
into the world where streaming is going to be dominant, and there's going to be football every single day.
You might be right. No, you might be 100% right,
Yeah,
bro.
so-
No doubt about it. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see. The Mets still losing 2-0. What are they going to the bottom of the fourth right now? They're down 2-0.
And it would be nice to sweep the.
They need to sweep the White Sox.
I mean, it would be
here.
nice.
They
It
got
really
the Red
would.
Sox after this. Then they go to play the Yankees at the stadium, right?
They have the Red Sox at the stadium. Evan is heading up there,
To
I
Fenway.
believe, tomorrow.
Sitting, by the way,
yeah,
on the
on the-
Green Monster. We had to convince him for $420 a pop to sit on the Green Monster.
That's unbelievable. And in
Right?
case you missed it yesterday, Evan, who is a baseball historian,
Right.
and I say this glowingly, and Joe, you worked with him forever, and he's the greatest guy ever. But,
Oh, he's the best.
he's a geek. He is. He's a nerd, and I say that
With
kindly.
love.
With
And I
love.
think he would be the first one to admit that.
Joe, he goes and visits, where Abe Lincoln went to
Right.
prom,
Right.
and he wants to see every stadium. And
Right.
here he is going to Fenway Park, Joe. And what makes Fenway unique, not just the history, but there's a huge green monster
No question.
in left field.
No question.
And he doesn't want to sit there.
Yeah.
And he's bringing his kids. And what I told him is listen, Ev, in 20 years, when the Mets are playing the Red Sox in the World Series, Jet, your son, is going to repay you the favor, right? You paid it forward. He's going to buy tickets for the Green Monster, and you two are going to sit there, and we're going to watch the Mets win the World Series. Sound
I
good
like
to
that.
you?
No, hey, look. I mean, I'm in. I don't know if I'll be alive, but I'm definitely in. No, I mean, to me, I think what he's going to do. He's going to give you like a glowing report too. I mean, when he comes back, as Lindor does what he does so well, strikes out for $340 million. But whatever. But I like Lindor. He plays every day, so I'll give Lindor a pass.
Yeah, Lindor's been good.
Yeah.
He's the least of their problems.
No, he's the lead. No, I agree with that.
And I think the fans give him a hard time for a lot of things. But if you like Alonso, I think gets a pass. McNeil's having a horrible
Well, let's
season.
be honest about this with the Mets, bro. Okay, and we'll get back to Evan sitting on top of the Green Monster.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Francisco Alvarez may go right past Pete Alonso as the best player on the team.
Yeah, Joe.
You know what? I mean, I know he's only a rookie. It's only X amount. I know it's only a short sample size.
Sure.
But that's not impossible.
It's
It
not
really
impossible, Joe. You know the deal here. You've seen them all through the years.
Yep.
When a kid comes up and he plays well, really well early on, and we as fans are starving for that next young great player, we tend to overrate him, right? Alex
Yep.
Ochoa,
Yep.
Jay Payton, the list
Yep.
goes on and on.
Right.
Alvarez is a guy that came in as a top prospect, has done the job, and he's got that swagger, Joe.
Big time.
I call him a dude. I like guys like that.
He's a dude.
He's a dude.
Right.
And, Joe, you need
Right.
dudes. You need dudes.
Connor Green. He's a
Connor
dude.
Green's a dude. Pat Boyle's a dude. I would say I'm a dude. Joe, you're the original dude.
Am I really?
Oh, big
Okay.
time. You're sitting there at Studio 54. You're a legend. You're a straight up dude.
I never, just while you bring that up, I never went to Studio 54, but I did do some dancing back in the old days.
Joe, if
I have to admit, I mean, I did do a little of that.
now-
shake and bake,
Now, a little Saturday Night Fever. Now, Studio
bit.
54, I would assume, was tough to get into,
Yeah.
right? Like you had to be somebody or
right.
know somebody to
Right.
get in that joint.
Right.
Now, if I was alive during then, I absolutely would try to get in
Tommy,
there.
you'd be all over that.
But yes,
Tommy, that's like
that
I
is-
could see
bro,
you.
can you
like,
imagine?
You'd be with me like in the old days on Sunday nights. Let's go. We're going dancing, bro.
Me and Julie Newmar arm in arm. Are you
Right.
kidding me?
Julie Newmar, right? Julie
Showing
Newmar,
up in a
right
in
no
a
doubt.
limo, Joe. But yes,
I
Alvarez.
could see you and Julie Newmar on one arm and Kim Basinger on the other. How's that? Back in the old days.
But yeah, Joe, the thing is with Alvarez, so he's come up, he's electrified everybody. We're all pumped up. Joe, if this guy's the real deal, he could be in the middle of the order for the next 10 years.
Absolutely.
He's been that good, but they've had their issues.
He's DHing today.
DHing today, and he's been good behind the plate. Like when he came up, people were worried about his skills behind the dish, and he's been good. He's been real good. I mean, he's had a couple little issues, but overall, I think he's been great. But and McNeil's up right now. He has absolutely sucked.
He sucked, but he just walked.
And Marte, now I know they put him on the IL
Is he playing today? Oh, he's on the IL?
They put him on the IL. He's been having migraines. He's been awful all year. Like he's
been awful.
I looked at it like this. He either lost it or he's just checked out and doesn't want to be here.
Well, even defensively. I mean, how many balls have you seen hit to Marte that he ate up last year that he hasn't even gotten to?
No doubt.
Right?
Yep.
And how many balls he hit hard? I mean, basically, when he gets a base hit, it's like, an exit velo of like 60 miles an hour.
Exit velo.
You ever think I would use the word exit
Never.
velo? Alvarez just flew out there in the inning.
If you use launch angle in the next 4 hours, I'll probably leave.
Launch angle I will not use.
You will not use launch angle?
No launch angle.
Joe, let me ask you this.
And
if
I
the
won't
Mets
spin rate either. You won't hear that.
No spin rate?
No.
If the Mets miss the playoffs this year, historically, where not just Mets, not just New York baseball, where does this go in the pantheon of sports, right? Considering the expectations, considering what they did last year, I know they collapsed, but they won 100-something games. Where would you rank it if they don't make the playoffs? The money that was spent,
no, it was a
where
disaster.
would it rank?
No, it was terrible. I mean, beyond, and here's the other thing. They won 101, like you said, 101 games last year. They are on pace right now to be the worst team in the history of baseball. A year after winning over 100 games, to have the worst record of anybody.
Like you have the season they had there, right, over the century mark, and if they lose like 90-something games this year, and they spend all this money, and Cohen comes out and basically says, Buck's safe, Billy Epler's safe, which is great.
I don't see that.
Epler's brutal, Joe. I mean, what has Billy Epler done? Buck, you want to give him maybe a pass
Buck's
this year?
had a bad year.
I'm
not pushing Buck out the door, but he has not had a good year. And, everybody, you're getting on Boone. Boone finally ripped his team last night. When is Buck going to rip his team? Have we heard Buck? Has Buck said a negative word about his team all year? How about you coming out, Buck, and saying, we freaking stink? Because I haven't heard him say that. Have you?
Nope. In fact, I feel like he's been like Luis Rojas after these games, telling you, don't sleep on us.
Right.
Joe, I don't know if you heard him a couple weeks ago, but basically said the Met fans are mean. Well, no crap.
I didn't
you
hear
guys
that.
suck.
Buck said the fans are mean.
A couple weeks ago, he's like,
Buck,
wow, the fans are mean.
Buck, didn't you start managing in New York? Your first job was with the Yankees? You don't know how it is in New York?
Well, what do you expect him to do? Cartwheels? The team's horrible.
Of course.
And Joe, we all expected when Steve Cohen took over that they would be sort of like the new Yankees, right? They would spend, they would win.
Well, he's going to spend. I mean, I'm confident of that.
I am too. But here we are approaching the deadline here, and the Mets could be sellers.
Yeah.
Early on in the Steve Cohen era. I mean, that's going to go. Joe, this season is going to go down historically as one of the biggest disasters in sports.
Yeah. Well, up there. It's up there. Certainly in Met history. Everybody talks about the 92 team with Bonilla and Vince Coleman.
Yep.
Saberhagen spraying bleach all over the locker room.
Yep.
But that team wasn't coming off 101 wins.
Yeah.
I mean, this would be a much bigger disaster than that.
And, Joe, I always say there's like a divide with Met fans sort of by age. Like if you're my age, 37 or under 40.
Is that how old you are now?
Yeah, I'm 37 now. Don't tell anybody. But
37.
I haven't seen them
I don't want to tell
win.
you what I was doing at 37.
Wow.
I told you I was out dancing. I was,
Yes, exactly.
Sunday night, let's go.
When we go off air, we could get more in depth than that. But dog. But I haven't seen them win. And for a lot of us younger Met fans, Joe, we have not seen them win. We've seen heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. And we expected more out of the Steve Cohen era, and we have not gotten that.
No.
Now, we do expect them to spend. He's got like unlimited money. They're going to spend. I do ultimately, Joe, think they will win a World Series in the Steve Cohen era. I do. Because I think, Joe, he's going to not stop. Like I think
well, he's going after, we know he's going after Ohtani next year. And now, will he get him? I don't think he'll be outbid for him. I'll tell you that.
No. And I think going forward, it's going to be tough to be outbid. Right. I just think when you look at a guy like Steve Cohen, who's got a massive pocketbook, he's got a massive ego. It's like if we all won the lottery and we bought the Mets, right? He's a Met fan. He wants to win. He wants to be the guy, Joe, that said, look what I brought to all the Met fans.
Right.
So I think he's going to do whatever it takes. It might take 10 years. You may no longer be on this earth. It might be 20 years.
Right.
But as long as Steve Cohen is owning the Mets, they will win a World Series. That said, this year has been a failure, a disgrace, as you would say, Joe, and at times brutal to watch.
Brutal to watch. They played horrible defense. The base running at times has been just, completely unacceptable. No, look, we could go right on down the line. McNeil stunk. Marte stunk. Pete has not been the same guy since he got hit in the wrist.
Nope.
I mean, we could go on and on. Verlander and Scherzer have not. The Verlander was great last night.
Great.
But, could he pitch the ninth inning? By the way, Tommy. I mean, come on. I got 200 pitches. Let him pitch the ninth inning. I got to see Ottavino. I know Ottavino had an easy inning, but still.
Joe, what exactly are we saving Justin Verlander for?
Right.
The guy's going to be...
How old is he? 40, 42,
yeah,
41?
He's right around that. He's like 40, whatever. 39, 40. He's going to be in Aruba in 5 years on the beach with Kate Upton.
Right.
Who cares about his arm?
Right. He may be there sooner than that.
Well, maybe I'll be there with him. But, why can't you...
You're going to... where's that place again?
Oh, Ibiza.
Ibiza.
Yeah. It's going to be either Ibiza or Mykonos, Joe.
All right.
It depends on if I
well, it
win the
depends
lottery
what Margot prefers, right?
Margot, Sydney Sweeney.
Right.
It depends. All I know is I'm going to have $300 million in a yacht, so it's not going to be tough to convince anybody.
Beautiful.
But, what, Joe... We obviously live in a different world now, but like you said, Verlander's cruising. Could you imagine if they blew that game? If they blew that game and they took
last
Verlander
night?
out, yes.
Oh, after taking him out? Don't think that it did not cross my mind. And I was surprised he put Ottavino in. I thought he was going to put that stiff God in again or something. Right? Or the other guy, Hartwig, is he still even on the team? Yeah. I don't even know. Every day, I watch basically every Met game, and every game I put on when they put a relief pitcher in, it's another guy I never heard of.
I know.
Right? I mean, it's unbelievable.
The bullpen sucks, Joe. Look,
stinks.
And I heard you say it earlier in the week, and I agree with you. When Edwin Diaz got hurt, basically jumping up and down, there's a professional athlete. He got hurt leaping
at the
2 feet off the ground.
WBC, too. It wasn't even a Met game.
Yeah, and Joe, I'm kind of with you on that. If I pay these guys a lot of money. I understand the pride and their culture and their country. I'd have a hard time swallowing that if I'm Steve Cohen. Now, maybe Edwin Diaz would have got hurt first month of the year. Maybe it was a ticking time bomb. But that has totally set the Mets back. Joe, if Edwin Diaz is on this team, they have at least 5 or 6 more wins because it's taxed the pen.
I agree with you.
Right?
No, I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, I think you're 100% right, bro. And that really set the karma for the whole year.
Bad omen.
Bad omen. And that's also another reason why as the days get closer, I get more and more concerned about the football team.
This is what I would say, Joe.
I'm concerned about the football. I can't say I'm not. Okay?
Well, history would be on your side in that.
Well, that's the problem.
Number one. Number two, Joe, when we last saw Aaron Rodgers, he was at Lambeau Field.
Losing to the Lions.
To the Lions and Jared Goff. And the Packers had everything to gain.
Yep, they would have made the playoffs.
Other than pride.
The Lions were done. Right.
Pride.
Right.
And
Seattle had won earlier in the day. They eliminated Detroit.
Yep. And they went in there and they smacked them around. They did. And Brady, Joe, is the only guy I could think of that went deep into his 40s and was good. Breeze stunk at the end.
Yeah.
Peyton stunk at the end. They both got hurt.
Yep.
Rodgers has already been banged up a little bit here.
A little bit.
But he gets you to the dance, right? Like you're in a tough AFC. There's great quarterbacks. At least you have a shot. Now, with that shot, Joe, comes expectations.
Well.
So, as you would say...
The pressure's on. I mean, I played golf with the coach last week, and I told him, first thing I said to Coach Sal, I said, Coach, the pressure's on, man.
I can't believe
you guys got to win. I mean, there's no gray area here, you know?
I can't believe he told you there's no pressure. No,
He did say that. He said pressure is my 7 kids.
Yeah, I don't believe him on that. Well, maybe the kid
7
part.
kids. I mean,
Yeah, maybe.
Tommy, I can't see you dealing with. I can't see you dealing with like 1. Never mind 7.
No, I don't want to deal with kids. This is what I would say about kids, Joe. I think you'll appreciate this, and I say this somewhat tongue in cheek.
I understand. Go ahead.
You spend all your time, all your money on them, right? All your sleepless nights, all this stuff. Also, in 25 years, you can get a 5-minute dance at a wedding you paid for. That's what kids are.
Paid, and paid, you didn't pay like $150 for the wedding either.
Exactly. Joe's still got kids on the payroll. I mean, they suck the money out of your wallet for life.
There is some truth to that.
I will likely not have kids, and I love kids, and I don't say if you want to have kids, but I don't think it's for me, Joe. I would say damage. That's right. That's me, Joe. By the way, that's me saying that. I said the Knicks were going to do damage. Now, they didn't do total damage, but they did some damage.
They won a playoff series.
They did more than what they normally do. Right. So I would classify
the Knicks. Well, you bring the Knicks up. The Knicks are on the up. Let's be honest. The Knicks are the arrow's pointing up for the Knicks.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. I think Brunson's a superstar player. I think that they got a lot.
But I like when I say that, and obviously Brunson's tremendous. Is not one of the best signings in the history of the franchise.
No doubt about it.
But to me, it starts with, as we're going all over the place. Look at this. Beatty had a 3-0 count and he struck out. I mean, that makes me nuts. I'm telling you, it makes me nuts. God. Oh. Anyway, where do we go back to the Knicks? No, but we're going all over the place.
I love it.
Oh, no, bro, I can't thank you enough for coming in today.
Oh, it's my honor, Joe.
You know, my wife's happier than anybody.
I love Terry. Tell her I said
she's my wife.
Can't wait to see her at JJ's wedding in a month. We can get into that later, too.
We will. By the way, I think she's at the pool. I think she finally went to the pool today. I said, you better go to the pool today because it's supposed to rain again tomorrow. Bro, it's supposed to be. Can you believe there's talking thunderstorms again tomorrow?
Joe, it's either 98 degrees, raining, or there's like smoke. The air quality. I never even heard of air quality. Now every day I got to check for the air quality now, too. Is that also what I got to do?
You hear the day, the really, really, when you could not go outside. Like when I walked outside, it smelled like everything was burning.
It looked like we were on Mars.
Were you here that day?
Funny story. I was in Florida. I just got back the night before.
Right,
Joe.
okay.
So
okay.
if that would have happened a day later, I could have got an extended vacation and stayed in Florida.
Right.
So I had no idea. I was in Florida. I was checked out. I wasn't locked in. So I walked to work. I live in Manhattan, and I'm looking online, and everybody's saying there's all this smoke, there's all this. I'm like, are you serious? I had no idea. Now it hadn't gotten that bad till later at the night. But, bro, that was like the end of the world.
You could, it was supposed to be a nice day. It's midday. It's 12 o'clock. It's noon. And it was no rain. It wasn't raining. And it could not have been darker. Like you said, the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like I thought people were going to start coming down from the sky.
Well,
I really did.
I thought the Jets were playing in the Super Bowl the next day because that's what I figured would happen. The Jets would get to the Super Bowl, and then the aliens would arrive. They would take you with them, Joe, and you would not see this. Bro, are you kidding me here? Where are we going? Like, that's what I thought. I thought it was the end of the world. I'm like, are the Jets playing tomorrow? Did we get to Vegas in February?
It depends where the aliens take me. I mean, who knows? It could be good, right?
Well, apparently they're living under the water. Joe, we could get into that too, because I'm dying to get your take on it. But some people think they're living in the water. They're here with us.
Water.
Now, if you met my mother-in-law, you might believe that. But yeah, there's some people
Your mother-in-law thinks that the aliens are here living in the water.
No, I was going to say that my mother-in-law is an alien, actually. That was where I was going with that. She might. She's from California, Joe, and you know those people in California.
I'm not a big fan of California. No offense to your mother-in-law, but I'm really not a big fan of California.
And you leave it at that, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm leaving it right there.
Well, we've been all over the place here in the first half an hour.
We have to break it? Pat, do we break now?
Looks like it.
If we just tell us when to break. You're running the show, Pat, all right? Did Narvaez just hit a home run?
Did he?
I think so. How about that? Omar Narvaez with a solo homer, his first one as a Met. In fact, I think he's the only guy with a hit. He's got the 2 hits today.
Yep, 2-1 White Sox in the fifth.
How about that? All right, well, that's good.
Connor's the guy running the show. I'm just pushing buttons back here.
Is that what you're doing?
Correct.
So Connie's putting the pressure on you. Huh?
He just dumped the pressure on me. Yeah, he threw me right under the bus. So we can take a break here, pay some bills, play some spots.
Let's do that. Beningo and Lugauer for a Thursday afternoon.